What's up everyone, it's Edwin, and today I want to discuss Nikocado Avocado's treatment towards Stephanie Soo in these 3 videos. These 2 YouTubers are pretty big in the mukbang world, so if you don't like to watch videos of people eating food, then maybe you've not heard of them. However, they recently had some drama that was so big that it definitely escaped the food bubble. But the reason why I'm covering this video is, again, not because of the drama itself, but because of the behavior that Nick displayed towards Stephanie.
The past couple of days have been filled with just a lot of manipulation and a lot of Nikocado Avocado using his platform to threaten me and to bully me.
When I first saw Stephanie's first video titled Why I Am Scared of Nikocado Avocado, I was actually blown away because she presented a play-by-play of why she's afraid of Nick. She was very believable, and not just because of her emotional appeal, but she had a very logical approach to the video as well. A few people asked me to do a video on it, and in my head I'm like, what else is there to say? She covered all her bases. I mean, the video was 47 minutes long, but I know that for one, when I pressed play, I couldn't stop watching, and I never even seen this girl before.
That night I was really pushed into a really dark place that I never thought I would be in again. I had a breakdown, and it was unlike any other breakdown I had. It was one where I felt shame, guilt, because I did say I would talk about it, didn't I? I don't know, he said I did, so I must have.
I'm a very empathetic person, and I was listening to much of the video while in the shower through my Bluetooth speaker, and Stephanie's storytelling was so compelling that I was having 2 showers at once. One on my body and one through my eyes.
Like, I don't want to disclose all of this. I'm not comfortable with sharing this. This has nothing to do with anything.
Stephanie said that at one point in the collaboration for Nick's channel, Nick was trying to get her to talk about another YouTuber, which made her visibly uncomfortable, yet he insisted, even though she kept trying to change the topic.
And increasingly, he looked at me with more and more shock on his face, as if he was shocked and angry at the fact that I refused to talk about what I told him in private.
Stephanie does an exemplary job of describing how Nick was actively manipulating her and to try to get her to talk about something that she wasn't actually comfortable talking about.
But you told me yesterday you wanted to talk about it. Then why did you say you wanted to talk about it? I guess she changed her mind.
Not only does speaking to someone like this confuse them in the sense that it makes them question if they actually said it or not, but if they're doing it on camera on YouTube and it's about another YouTuber, it's really putting Stephanie on the spot to kind of like spark some drama with that other YouTuber that she literally doesn't want to talk about.
Or do you change your mind now?
I just feel like maybe,
you said you wanted to talk to your viewers with me here, but because you never talked to any of your viewers.
And I just remember feeling just shocked because the way he went about it was just so almost like an interrogation.
Part of the reason why Stephanie was scared, besides the fact that he was putting words in her mouth and there was other talk of that YouTuber that didn't make the cut into the video, was the fact that it was all on Nick's memory card. So he still has footage of things possibly being able to be misconstrued against Stephanie.
He knew that I was uncomfortable. He knew I didn't want to talk about this, but he kept going. And so the video ends and I just feel really weird. I don't know how to describe the feeling. It's not just scared, but it's also like almost like ashamed. Like, wow, I made him mad because I changed my mind. Did I change my mind? But I never had the mind to talk about Veronica.
Or maybe she did want to talk about Veronica because Nick shows a text message from her wanting to do a docuseries type collaboration about what happened between her and Veronica and Mukbang.
This lady has so much upset feelings against Veronica Wang. And let me tell you, it's a lot more than just pink hair dye.
Nick made it out to be like Stephanie was stuck on this drama and really wanted to bring it up on a video based on some text from August. And the great part is that Stephanie actually talked to Veronica about this in some DMs. So this is all squashed.
She didn't feel comfortable doing the documentary on her own because me and Zach both turned her down.
And Nick claims that I didn't do it because Nick didn't want to be a part of it. In reality, Veronica shut me down. She's moved on, she's thriving.
I am so proud of Stephanie for standing up against Nikocado. He really is a masked manipulator. He knows how to twist things, and he finally just messed with the wrong person.
And the best part about this is that Stephanie, straight up says to Nick, release the unedited footage so people can see how you interrogated me to try to talk about Veronica.
Release the footage that you have where you interrogated me about Veronica.
That's a power move.
I also had 8 missed calls, some of them FaceTimes from Nick at the time. And later on, after all of this, there were some Instagram posts and stories that were made that I didn't know, but they were made while this conversation was happening.
One of the biggest takeaways that I got from her video was that if she hadn't done her video, he was gonna do it first and it wasn't gonna be pretty. This was evident by the Instagram post that he had already posted before she shared her video online. Also during the time that he was actively texting Stephanie. And it was also spelled out in a text that Nick sent to Zach Choi, which Stephanie revealed in her latest video on the matter.
One of the reasons that I didn't want to make this video and I felt like I was crazy is because I know everyone's just gonna be saying, Stephanie, you're a grown woman. Why didn't you just leave? Or tell him, hey, stop.
I think this clip is important because it highlights the vulnerability and implicit shame that Stephanie and many others feel in situations like this. Because in this type of instance, it really isn't just about the situation, but about the person within the situation as well. On the surface, it does make sense to just be like, yeah, she should have just told him to stop. But that's on the surface, you know, when you don't consider the type of person that Nick is, which is why I think it was very important and she did such a good job to illustrate the type of person that Nick is and why it was difficult for her to just tell him to stop pushing her to try to talk about something that she wasn't comfortable talking about.
But also, there's an element there of like, why can't you just walk away? They said they were uncomfortable. They might be lying, they might not be lying. It's not for you to know, or, I mean...
47-minute video describing why she's afraid of him, and it all went over his head. He still doesn't get it. At one point in his video, Nick had a caption that read, notice how she didn't even provide a reason as to why she was scared? She just said she was all of a sudden? Dog, are you serious? Well, I hope if this video crosses your path that it enlightens you as to why she was scared of you. Keyword was, because she's now a boss-ass queen.
And she said she got so distressed that she started touching me and wiping me. It's like... to me, that's pretty damn playful. I mean, you're so scared of me that your first instinct is to touch me?
Did this dude turn off his brain while watching Stephanie's video, or did he purposefully switch up the timeline to fit his narrative against Stephanie? Because when Stephanie was talking about wiping him as an attempt to get him to talk about a different topic, that was in reference to the first collab that they did, which she said the first half was great up until she had to do that.
Like, we were honestly having a really, really good time for like the first half. I had these baby wipes in front of me and I kept wiping him every time he got too serious to just kind of play it off like, let me wipe him up. And every single time I tried to do that, increasingly, it seemed like he got more offended. He would look at me with such a shocked face.
She clearly described how she progressively became more anxious and scared of you towards the end of that first collab and throughout the second collab.
I was so scared of him that I didn't even want to act differently around him.
The fact that Nick presented the question of why can't you just walk away after she spent so much time of her video detailing it is just baffling.
I kept trying to find a way out. I mentioned multiple times in a very joking way, like, you guys don't need me. It's ASMR. You guys don't need me. And he would say things like, Nick would say things like, Stephanie, we're all tired.
This girl used psychology to validate her own self. This is what I meant when I said she had all her bases covered.
I just wanted to get there tonight. And that sounds crazy even to me. Like, me saying that right now, I sound crazy. Stephanie, you are 24, you should have got up and left. But I just couldn't. I was just so scared that I couldn't.
I think many of us have been through this feeling, and since it's a YouTube collaboration, you know, it's their job, you could perhaps relate it to a workplace experience where someone might be holding something against you and you have that gut feeling that they could always use it, you know, whether it's information or something that you did or something that could be misconstrued against you.
I felt like anything will be used against me, and I felt like anything I say, even Nick stop, he would use it and make an exposing video or threaten me with it. I don't know. I was just scared.
Well, she wasn't wrong. We already saw how he tried to use text that she had sent him way back in August about the whole Veronica thing. Not to mention, he also used random voice notes and text from other people to make her look bad.
If I'm mean, if I'm an asshole, if I'm soaking up the drama because I like it, people already know that. There's no secrets there.
And I mean, the homeboy's right. He has been known for stirring up drama with other YouTubers in the past. So if we want to be cynical, because there are those YouTube commenters that get stuck on the whole, she should have known better. Of course, working with Nikocado Avocado was going to be like a ticking time bomb for drama. Well, come on now. Obviously, she gave him the benefit of the doubt, and it's quite apparent that she's learned from her experience with him. I don't find the point in shaming someone for speaking up about this, because this is a type of shame that makes someone feel resentful towards themselves, you know, like make them feel worse, and then not speak up about other types of of situations. And as if all that wasn't enough, they actually had a third collaboration video planned for the following day. And Stephanie just wasn't having it. And not by choice. Her body literally just wasn't letting her have it. She was having panic attacks throughout the entire day and wasn't able to sleep. She even went as far as to show security footage from her own home to show how she was actually having a panic attack, so people knew that she wasn't lying. I mean, you gotta be crazy not to believe that what this girl's going through is very real, right? Right? Or I guess you could just be Nikocado Avocado.
Edit in your cries. Listen, the cries were edited in. She cut mid-cry out. Cut mid-cry out. Toward the end of the video, cut determined to make people feel a certain way about me. You're that desperate to make sure people say, wow, look what Nick did to her.
Huh, he's got a point. Hey Stephanie, do you have a security camera in your room? I want to make sure that your crying was real and not just edited it in. I mean, the homie really doesn't understand the concept of crying, calming down, recording again, and then if something gets emotional, you start to cry again. I don't know, it feels weird to explain this to a YouTuber. Maybe he's got no emotions.
It had been a really long night and I went to sleep at around 7 a.m. I was in and out of sleep until around 2 p.m. At this point, I had already missed text messages from both of them separately, and I ended up calling Zach at 2:20.
So she texted Zach first, and then shortly thereafter texted the group chat and explained how she was in and out of sleep and she had to cancel the collab. This did not sit well with Nick, and that's when he began doing the Instagram posts. One of the Instagram stories that he posted was a graphic that he seemingly created out of the phrase in and out of sleep, which Stephanie used.
A lot of the people that he tagged are people that he knew that I would say, oh my god, I've watched her since high school, or oh, I love her, you know, I did a collab with her. And these are people that I respected.
This is the part that actually made me angry, because many of the instances in which I've been bullied before, people have ganged up on me to the point where I feel small, and I hate that feeling.
I told a few other YouTubers, I tagged them on Instagram, as well as my friends, and they all know. I was like, they know the story.
So before Stephanie uploaded her video, Nick had already posted several Instagram posts and done a video on his own channel in which he referenced the Instagram post, gloating about the fact that he tagged other popular YouTubers.
I've just been in and out of sleep, and I don't know what's going on, but you know, I got things to do. I got things to do. Have you been in and out of sleep?
I'm in and out of sleep. Oh my gosh. In and out of sleep right now.
Who knows how many more times Nikocado was planning on referencing Stephanie up until he finally spilled the tea on her if she didn't stand up for herself. This is the epitome of a bully.
Oh my god, it was so funny. And we're like, in and out of sleep. In and out of sleep.
And I know that in a lot of instances where bullying like this happens online, most of the times the bully will say, it's a joke. They can't take a joke. And sometimes I can see where they're coming from. A joke is funny, but what was the purpose of posting it onto his Instagram?
Nick definitely wanted to humiliate Stephanie. He wanted to make her feel small as a sort of revenge for standing him up. Now what I find so astonishing about this whole drama is that Nick's behavior is actually literally defined by Stephanie's video. I mean, this is the reason he gives for making those Instagram posts.
When I made the in and out of sleep joke, that was my way of feeling better. From my perspective, after all the shenanigans we had gone through the day beforehand where she like complained and moved the schedules around, and I still did it, it's business, and we were supposed to get together that morning.
When something doesn't go Nick's way, his coping mechanism is to put the other person down, to belittle them. That's what makes him feel better about himself. He justifies it by saying that to him, Stephanie's basically just a business, you know, working with her is just a business.
Ghosting me for a business meeting.
Which was likely a surprise to Stephanie because in her video she states that she genuinely saw him as a friend and talks about how she bonded with him in the beginning of her video.
And at this point, we had been there for hours, and he had made me feel so comfortable. And like I could trust him, like he understood me.
Then, on the other hand, you have Nick saying the polar opposite in the beginning of his video.
Honey Eats doesn't like her. Kimmy doesn't like her. I didn't really like her. I didn't even know her. I felt that she was very self-serving.
What's interesting about Nick's video is how he wants to villainize Stephanie so bad.
She knew. She was creating a paper trail. In my view, that's what she was doing. And by the way, that's not slanderous or defamation. That's my opinion, and I'm letting you know that's my opinion.
Throughout his video, he describes her as so vindictive and manipulative, and this is one of the things that I feel like he's projecting because he makes it seem as if like she planned this whole thing out, right? I mean, homeboy literally said that she waited till the sun went down to reply to him.
She waited till the sun went down, an hour before the sun went down, 3:30, 4 p.m., to say, I was in and out of sleep and I have a lot of sponsors.
And he called her self-serving. I mean, geez, does the world revolve around you, boy?
And now she's letting people believe and egging them on to think that I was making fun of her. I'm victim shaming by saying in and out of sleep. How dare you? I am so sorry that whatever happened to you happened to you. I don't know.
And like I could trust him, like he understood me. I ended up opening up about something that I don't even talk about on YouTube anymore.
So either Nick forgot about Stephanie opening up to him, or she's lying, or he's lying. But either way, it's not really relevant because he's making it seem like the in and out of sleep was insulting her experience. But that's not what it was at all.
Ooh, I'm in and out of sleep. Oh, I'm in and out of sleep. I did not tell them that it was about sexual assault.
The in and out of sleep phrase has nothing to do with what she went through.
You knew how you were arranging the video to make it seem like I knew that. I was thinking of it in that moment.
Nick, what are you on about? Stephanie used the Instagram story that you posted to illustrate how you were bullying her by mocking the reason that she gave you for not being able to collaborate with you. It had nothing to do with assault, so I don't know how you misconstrued that.
Well, she said that she had gone to the bathroom, she used the restroom, and when she came back, she had checked the security footage to see that I was taking photos of her house without her knowledge. That is 100% a lie.
One of the first claims that Nick made against Stephanie was that she lied about him taking pictures of her home without her consent.
Why would you lie about why would you lie about something like that?
When I first saw this part of Nick's video, I was like, hey, why didn't Stephanie just show security footage of him taking pictures of her home? My friend Julie and I were talking about it since we were both watching it as it came out, and she reminded me of Stephanie's own video.
The reason why she didn't show the footage is because California is a two-party consent state. So if you have footage of someone, they need to approve that you release the footage. That's why she said she couldn't show it. And I know that's true because I've actually looked into that myself in the past.
And then I realized, oh my god, I completely forgot. So Nick should have just demanded for Stephanie to show the footage, you know? Why didn't he just do that if he's so sure of himself that Stephanie's lying? And Stephanie doubled down on the same exact thought in her new video.
Nick, give me your consent because you claim that I lied about so many things, whereas my home security footage says otherwise.
I'm telling you, the first thing that I noticed from Stephanie in this new video was the contrast of how much she's glowing in comparison to the other one. This girl is so much more confident since standing up for herself, and I just feel so proud. And I don't even know her, but...
There's another clip of me taken out of context making comments about the Me Too movement. Out of context. And then there's another clip, a surveillance footage clip of an, at that time, unidentified man, unidentified, over top of you, touching you.
Stephanie effectively proved that Nick lied throughout his video multiple times in her newest video, so I'm not gonna go over that one that much. I highly recommend it. Chef's kiss, it is so good. But the one criticism that I will kind of agree on with Nick is her intro. It was a little bit confusing. Now, I did go through her channel and I noticed that she does these little intros that kind of like have little short clips of the video that you're about to watch. It's like an attention grabber. However, for this kind of video, I didn't think it was really appropriate because, you know, it did confuse me on my first viewing. You know, it didn't really make sense because there's like a clip of her saying me too and then the surveillance footage, so I wasn't really sure what she was gonna say about why she was scared of a Nikocado avocado, but I certainly didn't come out of the video thinking, oh, he touched her inappropriately. Any doofus that came out of the video thinking that you touched her inappropriately is just that, a doofus.
This is no one's fault but hers. She deliberately edited her video in the beginning with the title, the description to be this way.
Nick went on to say that she did this on purpose so people would think extra negatively of him, and I don't know about all that because like I said, I saw a bunch of other videos of her and she always has these little short attention grabbers that show clips of the rest of the video. Now again, for this type of video, I don't think it was appropriate. I would just say it was a bad call on Stephanie's part.
I'm now gonna have to live with people calling me a predator for God knows how long.
This is something that Nick brought up several times throughout his video, and while Stephanie never called him a predator, she did say that his behavior was predatory. And while she's not technically wrong, because by definition he is predatory, I can see why this might be more collateral damage if other people are calling him a predator as a result, because, well, the word has a really bad connotation, especially when used towards men, you know? And Stephanie's video had the Me Too movement mentioned in there. So I guess if someone's really lazy and not really paying attention to the video, I can see where he's coming from. But can you imagine starting up a conversation with someone about the specific drama and then they say, oh yeah, I've heard of that. Nikocado's the guy that touched Stephanie. Oh, what? You'll be like, what? No, idiot.
Why are you keeping tabs on what I do next? Why are you knowingly wanting to be reminded of what I say and think?
Nick was making a big deal out of Stephanie watching his Instagram stories as if she's enjoying herself with popcorn. Bro, she's obviously keeping tabs on you in case she needs to take action legally, which, surprise, surprise. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. There's still quite a bit to unpack from the 3 videos that amount to over 3 hours worth of footage, and I'll link them all down below. But right now, I'm just gonna put a pause right there because I covered most of the things that I was interested in, you know, the behavioral aspect of Nick, which literally reminded me of people in my past, and I was like, fudge. So that's also why I was so proud of Stephanie, man. And I know I don't usually cover this mainstream type of YouTube story that a lot of other channels usually cover, but I just resonated with this one big time, so I hope that this is received alright. I actually want to start another channel in which I can cover stories like this more casually, because these videos are kind of easier to do. I mean, this one actually took me a lot longer than I expected because I'm dealing with 3 really long videos, but typically YouTube stories don't require as much research as the ones that I typically take on. So if you guys want to subscribe to my new channel, click the link down below. I still don't know what I'm gonna call it, so maybe I made up my mind by the time this video went up. What a way to celebrate 200,000 subscribers. Start a new channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you tomorrow at the live stream. And if you don't make it to the live show, then catch it at my Patreon, or don't. That's why you gotta subscribe with post notifications, because people get so sad that they miss my live streams. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just like talking to me one-on-one and 1,000 other people.